morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is English Bulletin with me, Utsabhat Rai. The top stories first. Government preparing to summon parliamentary session. Minister confirms winter session will begin on March 7. Government confirms 112 new cases of coronavirus. Active cases dropped to 936. Nepal signs deal with World Bank on forest and climate change, becomes the 12th country to strike such landmark deal. Biden takes first military action after assuming office, strikes Iran-backed militias in Syria. And UEFA announces a draw for Europa League. Manchester United faces AC Milan in the last 16. And now the news in detail. The government is preparing to summon the winter session of Parliament on March 7. A meeting of the Council of Ministers held at Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar yesterday decided to call winter session of Parliament on March 7. The government is making necessary preparations to recommend the President to summon the House session on the date fixed by the Cabinet meeting. Minister for Land Management, Cooperatives and Poverty Alleviation Shivamaya Tumbahampe confirmed that the Cabinet has decided to recommend the President to call the parliamentary session on March 7. The government decided to summon the House meeting after the Supreme Court on Wednesday reinstated the dissolved House of Representatives and ordered the government to convene the Parliament within 13 days. President Vidya Devi Bhandari had dissolved the lower House of Parliament on December 20 upon the recommendation of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. The Ministry of Home Affairs has transferred 52 Chief District Officers. The Home Ministry on Friday published the list of 52 civil servants who were transferred from their respective posts. The Ministry also transferred Deputy Chief District Officers yesterday. Airport authorities held an emergency rescue operation and a drill at Nepalganj Airport as practice to make rescue operations more effective in case of plane crash inside the airport area. Firefighters, a Nepal Army Armed Police Force and a team of Nepal Police participated in the rescue operation drill as per the criteria set by International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO. Although such practices have been a common phenomenon at Thiruvan International Airport, this was the first time such drill was held in Nepalganj. A team of technical experts from Bhairava, Dhangari and Jumla Airport had also arrived at Nepalganj to participate in the rescue drill. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 112 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 273,984, while the number of active cases has dropped to 936. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 270,277 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. The government has adjusted the death toll at 2,771 following the deaths of 4 more patients yesterday. Nepal is currently among the top 48 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The US tops the list with over 29.13 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 11.7 million cases. The death toll in the US has surpassed 500,000 yesterday. Coronavirus has infected more than 113.96 million people across the world and claimed 2.52 million lives. And now the news from economic front. The government of Nepal has signed a landmark agreement with the World Bank for Forest Carbon Partnership Facility. Under this deal, Nepal will receive support up to $45 million to decrease carbon emissions from deforestation and forest degradation until 2025. With this emission reductions payment agreement in place, Nepal is expected to reduce 9 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions in the Terai Arc landscape, the World Bank said in a statement issued yesterday. Secretary at the Ministry of Forest and Environment Dr. Vishwanatha Oli and the World Bank's country director for the Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka, Paris Haddad Zervos, had recently signed the agreement. The World Bank further said this initiative will also focus on improving community-based forest management, transferring user rights for national forests to local communities, improving integrated land use planning, promoting alternative source of energy and strengthening capacity for protected area management. Nepal is the 5th country in Asia-Pacific and 20th globally to reach such a milestone agreement with the World Bank. We'll be taking a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international and sports news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The US has carried out an airstrike targeting Iran-backed militias in Syria in the first military action undertaken by the Biden administration. The Pentagon said the strike destroyed multiple facilities and was ordered in response to attacks against US and coalition personnel in Iraq. According to BBC, military officials said one person had been killed, but a war monitor reported at least 22 fatalities. Syria condemned the attack as a bad sign from the new US administration. The Pentagon said the strike came after a civilian contractor was killed in a rocket attack on US targets earlier this month. Rockets have also struck US bases in Baghdad, including the Green Zone, which houses the US Embassy and other diplomatic missions. There are about 2,500 US troops in Iraq to assist Iraqi forces in the fight against the Islamic State. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Manchester United has been drawn against AC Milan in the last 16 of Europa League. AC Milan, who sits second in Serie A, are yet to win the competition, while United's only triumph was in 2017. Arsenal, finalist in 2019, face a Greek side, Olympiacos, who knocked them out in the last 32 stage last year. Tottenham will play a Croatian side, Dynamo Zagreb, while Rangers have been drawn against a Czech side, Slavia Prague, who defeated Leicester City this week. The 8 last 16 ties will be played on 11 and 18 March. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Government preparing to summon parliamentary session. Minister confirms winter session will begin on March 7. Government confirms 112 new cases of coronavirus. Active cases dropped to 936. Nepal signs deal with World Bank on forest and climate change, becomes the 12th country to strike such landmark deal. Biden takes first military action after assuming office, strikes Iran-backed militias in Syria. And UFA announces draw for Europa League. Manchester United faces AC Milan in the last 16. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website, janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.